This man used to live a very simple and peaceful life as a physics teacher in a small village. He was well educated, with degrees in physics, maths, and ecology, but he chose to live close to nature without harming anyone or anything. His life was calm and steady. But one day, everything changed, and he slowly became one of the most lethal snipers in the world, who could hit targets from as far as 2,400 meters. The story starts in a quiet village in Ukraine, where Mykola lives with his wife, Nastya, in a small house. They are happy with their simple life. Nastya is an artist who likes to draw and carve wooden figures, while Mykola teaches physics to children at a nearby school. Most of his students like him because he is kind and patient. But one boy named Ivan behaves badly. He often makes fun of Mykola's hippie appearance. He even tells him to quit his job. Still, Mykola stays calm and never gets angry at him. Mykola does not use things like TV or a cell phone, so he does not know much about what is happening outside his village. One day at school, he sees news showing that Russia has started attacking Ukraine and has taken control of some places. This worries him a little. Later that evening, when he goes home, Nastya tells him something very important. She is pregnant. Hearing this makes Mykola very happy because he is going to become a father. The two of them share this joyful moment together, not knowing how quickly their lives are about to change. My name is Sid, and today we recap the 2022 movie Sniper, The White Raven. The next morning, Mykola says goodbye to Nastya and leaves for school on his bicycle. On the way, he notices two soldiers standing by the road, smoking and wearing uniforms he does not recognize. Something about them feels off, but he does not stop and continues to the school. When he arrives, he is surprised to see the place completely empty. There are no students at all. Feeling uneasy, he checks the television and learns that Russian soldiers have entered Ukraine and are taking control of different areas. At that moment, he understands that the men he saw earlier were Russian soldiers. Worried about Nastya being alone at home, he quickly gets back on his bicycle and rushes back as fast as he can. But when he reaches his house, he sees a terrible scene. The two soldiers are beating Nastya. Mykola runs toward them to protect her, but they start attacking him too. He begs them to stop and tells them that his wife is pregnant, but they do not care and continue beating both of them. After a while, one of the soldiers searches the house. When he finds nothing inside, he gets angry and sets the house on fire before leaving. As the flames begin to spread, Nastya, filled with anger, picks up a stone and throws it at them. One of the soldiers immediately shoots her. She collapses to the ground and dies. Mykola rushes to her, lifts her into his arms, and breaks down in tears as he realizes he has lost her forever. After a few hours, two Ukrainian soldiers arrive at the scene. They see the burned house and understand what has happened. When they notice Nastya lying dead, their faces turn serious. Then they begin digging a grave nearby. Once it is ready, they ask Mykola to bury his wife. With shaking hands and a heavy heart, he lays her to rest, knowing that he has lost both his wife and his unborn child. Mykola is now completely alone. The soldiers who came to his home did not just kill his wife, they destroyed his entire life. His house is gone, his family is gone, and there is nothing left for him there. Slowly, his grief turns into a strong desire for revenge. He makes a firm decision that he will find the soldier who shot Nastya and make him pay for what he did. The only way he can do that is by joining the Ukrainian army. He turns to the two soldiers and asks them to take him with them because he wants to fight. They take him along in their vehicle and bring him to their military base. Before leaving his home, Mykola picks up a small wooden statue that Nastya had carved for him, something she believed would protect him. When they arrive at the base, the senior officer becomes angry as soon as he sees Mykola. He refuses to accept him, thinking that Mykola might be a spy. The two soldiers then explain everything that happened, and Mykola also shares his story in detail, telling him how the Russian soldiers killed his wife and burned his home. He says that he has no reason left to live and only wants to fight for his country. After hearing this, the officer finally agrees to recruit him. The next day, Mykola's training begins. Since he has spent his life studying and teaching, he has no experience with weapons, which makes everything difficult for him at first. When the other recruits quickly assemble their rifles, Mykola struggles and finishes last. Seeing this, the officer starts to believe that Mykola may never become a proper soldier. Even then, Mykola refuses to give up and continues training with full effort, determined to improve. One night, during training, Mykola tells his senior that he does not want to be called by his real name anymore and says that his code name is Raven. Hearing this, the other soldiers start laughing. The senior tells him clearly that a code name is not given so easily, and a soldier has to earn it through real achievements. Mykola does not argue or feel insulted. Instead, he quietly decides to work harder than everyone else. While the others rest at night, he continues practicing on his own. After some time, the senior gathers everyone and announces that they need more snipers to fight the Russian forces. He asks for volunteers. A few soldiers step forward, and Mykola also joins them because he wants to become a sniper. Once again, some of the others laugh at him. The senior reminds him that he is still struggling with basic skills and is not ready for such a role. Mykola still insists and asks for a chance to prove himself. To test him, The senior gives him a challenge to assemble a rifle within 20 seconds. Mikola agrees, but instead of doing it normally, he covers his eyes, takes the rifle apart, and then puts it back together. He completes the task in just 18 seconds. Everyone watching is surprised by his speed and control. The same people who laughed at him earlier now clap for him. Seeing this, the senior accepts him into sniper training. During sniper training, Mikola is given an old rifle while the other trainees receive newer and better weapons. He asks for a modern rifle, but the senior tells him that he must prove himself first. With no choice, Mikola continues with the old weapon. The training is strict. He is taught that a sniper must stay completely still, no matter what happens around him. To test this, the senior fires shots close to the trainees, and anyone who moves even slightly is removed from training. When Mikola's turn comes, he stays perfectly still and keeps his aim steady, passing the test. In another exercise, the trainees are shown their targets only once. After that, their eyes are covered and they must remember the position and shoot. Some of the others manage to pass. When Mikola takes his shot, it misses slightly, and he fails the test. The old rifle makes it harder for him to aim with full accuracy, and everyone understands that with a better weapon, he might have succeeded. The next challenge is even harder. The snipers must hit their targets at night using only the light from flares. When the first flare is fired, everyone quickly shoots, but no one hits the target. Mikola does not fire at all. He realizes that shooting directly in that brief light will not work. When the next flare goes up, he carefully studies the distance and position using that moment of light. Using his understanding of physics, he adjusts his aim and fires. This time, the shot hits perfectly. The senior and the other soldiers are surprised because no one had managed to complete this task before. Impressed by his skill, the senior finally gives him the codename he wanted. Time passes, and Mikola continues to train with full focus. When the results are announced, the colonel personally salutes him and tells him that he has passed with the highest marks in his group. A few days later, the colonel returns and tells him to prepare for a mission. Russian soldiers have taken control of a checkpoint, and their team is being sent there. Soon, Mikola and his team reach the location and take their positions, ready to strike. Just as they are about to open fire on the Russian soldiers, a civilian car approaches the checkpoint. Seeing this, the colonel quickly orders everyone to hold their fire. On the other side, the Russian soldiers stop the car and force the people inside to step out. They check their passports and search the entire vehicle. After that, they keep the passports with them. When the civilians ask for them back, the soldiers start beating them without any reason. Watching this, the colonel realizes they cannot wait any longer. He gives the order to attack. In the same moment, the snipers take their shots and eliminate the Russian soldiers. The civilians are saved, and the mission is completed successfully. When they return to base, Mikola notices that many soldiers are missing. He becomes concerned and asks where the others are. He is told that they were sent on a different mission. The next day, he receives the news that many of them were killed. They were all taken down by a Russian sniper named Seri, who is known as one of the best. A few days later, Mikola is sent on another mission with his team. They reach the location, plant mines across the area, and take their positions. After some time, a group of Russian soldiers arrives. Among them, Mikola recognizes Ivan, the same boy who used to trouble him in school. Now Ivan is part of the Russian army. Soon after, the mines explode, killing the entire group, including Ivan. After the situation is under control, the colonel notices that Mikola looks disturbed and asks him what is wrong. Mikola explains that one of the soldiers he just killed was once his student and he did not want things to end this way. The colonel tells him that on the battlefield, there is no place for such thoughts. He reminds him that Ivan chose his own path, and in that moment, he was not a student but an enemy. Mikola listens quietly. After the mission, they return to base. The colonel begins to trust Mikola more and spends time talking with him. One day he shows Mikola a photo of his family and shares that he has 2 daughters who do not know he is a soldier. They believe he is away on work, and even his wife has kept the truth from them. Hearing this, Mikola shares his own story about losing Nastya. As he speaks, he becomes emotional, and the colonel tries to calm him and give him strength. The next morning, they leave for another mission. This one is important because they have information that a group of Russian soldiers will pass through a certain route. The colonel and Mikola reach the location early and take their positions, watching carefully. After some time, they spot 2 Russian soldiers waiting for the rest of their unit. As Mikola looks through his scope, he suddenly freezes. One of those soldiers is the same man who shot Nastya. The person he has been searching for is now right in front of him. He asks the colonel for permission to take the shot, but the colonel refuses and tells him to wait. Mikola asks again, but the answer is still no. The anger inside him starts to take over. He remembers everything that happened to his wife and the life he lost. Unable to control himself, he pulls the trigger. The bullet hits the soldier, killing him instantly. But the single shot reveals their position to the enemy. The colonel immediately realizes the danger and shouts at Mikola, asking what he has done. At the same time, the most dangerous Russian sniper, Seri, is nearby and has now located them. The colonel tries to find Seri's position before he can act, but he is too late. A single shot is fired and the colonel is killed on the spot. Mikola understands the mistake he has made. His decision has cost the colonel his life. Soon, heavy gunfire and explosions begin as Russian forces attack their position. Realizing they cannot hold their ground, Mikola grabs the colonel's body and starts pulling back. Under constant fire, he manages to escape and return to base. Back at the base, Mikola is filled with guilt. He blames himself for the colonel's death and makes a promise that he will find Sari and kill him. Not long after, he receives information about 2 Russian snipers and is sent out again. He reaches the location, takes position, and waits. When the moment comes, he shoots and kills one of them. During the fight, the second sniper fires back and hits Mikola in the arm. Even while injured, Mikola stays focused and manages to kill the second sniper as well. Badly hurt, he retreats to a hidden base to recover. While he is recovering, Mikola receives a call from an army major. The major tells him that they have finally identified the sniper responsible for killing the colonel. After some time, Mikola returns to the base, where the major gathers everyone and explains the situation. He tells them that the sniper's name is Sari and that he is considered the most skilled sniper on the Russian side. He warns them that Sari has never missed his target and has already killed several of Ukraine's best snipers. The major also explains that Sari records his kills and shares them online to weaken the morale of Ukrainian soldiers. He adds that Sari usually stays in one place and hunts from there instead of moving around. After explaining everything, the major lays out a plan. 2 teams will move in together. The first team will attack from the front to draw attention, while the second team will come from behind. During this distraction, Mikola will enter the building where Sari is hiding and take him down. Once the plan is clear, they move toward the location. After reaching the area, all the snipers take their positions and prepare to attack. At the same time, Mikola quietly makes his way inside the building. As he moves through it, he comes across 2 Russian soldiers talking to each other. Without wasting any time, he takes them out and continues moving deeper inside. After getting into position, Mikola sends the signal to his team. As soon as they receive it, the snipers outside open fire and begin taking down the Russian soldiers. Meanwhile, Sari starts to notice that his men are not responding. He senses that something is wrong and decides to check for himself. He goes up to the roof, where another sniper is supposed to be stationed, but when he gets there, he finds the sniper already dead. Now he understands that enemy forces have surrounded him. Sari quickly contacts his base and asks for backup. He is told that reinforcements will arrive in 10 minutes. Hearing this, he rushes back to his position and starts searching for the enemy inside the building. As Sari searches the building, he notices a small wooden statue placed on a table in front of him. Before Sari can react or understand what it means, Mikola suddenly attacks him from close range. A struggle begins, but Mikola overpowers him and kills him with a knife. The noise alerts another sniper inside the building. He becomes careful and tries to locate Mikola, but Mikola has already prepared for this. He sets up a grenade trap near the sniper's position. The grenade explodes and kills him. After some time, the backup team that Sari had called finally arrives at the location. They have no idea that Sari is already dead. When they try to contact him, Mikola answers instead and tells them that they will not make it out alive. Then he takes aim and shoots the driver of their vehicle. As the shot echoes, confusion spreads among the Russian soldiers and they quickly jump out of the truck. They do not realize that Ukrainian snipers are already waiting for them. The snipers open fire and begin taking them down one by one. None of them are able to escape the ambush. A few days after this mission, Mikola returns to his village and visits Nastya's grave. Standing there, he feels that he has done what he set out to do. The people responsible for her death and for the colonel's death are gone. He stands quietly for a moment, then makes a promise to continue fighting for his country for as long as he lives. After saying his final goodbye, he turns and walks away, heading back toward the battlefield. Well, that's the end of this movie. How did you like this recap? Let me know in the comments below.